Okay, as I'm speaking here, I'm thinking in order to make me more comfortable, I'm gonna mix up just a little color for my hair, so I can begin to see that identified. So I mixed a little white, a little Naples yellow, and a little black, and I mixed that up, and I'm going to throw some of that on here right now, just to help me identify where my hair, if my hair is sitting in the proper place here. So I'm just throwing in a little bit of that color. You can see how quickly and how rough this looks. If you're familiar with my paintings, you might be surprised at how fast this process is and how sloppy it seems in the beginning. That's because I understand how the process works, and I know that although in the early stages the drawing has to be very quick, and it has to be you have to do it with some emotional responses. That means when I see something, I put it on there. I'm reacting to what I'm looking at, knowing that it's very general, it's very basic, and the process does not have to be refined at this time. The actual painting process, I paint in layers. I paint layer over layer, and so that I know that the next stage of this is going to become more and more refined, more and more refined. And in the same way that I'm observing my portrait, observing whatever it is I'm painting, it's very broad, it's very basic in the beginning, and it becomes more and more refined as we go along. Now, I'm still feeling that right now that this line is too strong. So just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, I'm going to cut this down just with some, I just took some of that gray color I was using on my face, on my hair. I'm using it to cut down in the background and the size of that headpiece. It looks brighter. It looks more right to me. I'm not one of these artists who get it right the very first time. I got to work at it, and I think a lot of guys are like that. But I accept that that's part of the process. So I'm just cutting this down very slightly so it becomes more comfortable to my eye. Okay, now I'm going back onto the eyes. See, I work all around it. I work all around it. It's the general feel that I'm going for right now. That's the important thing. You notice I'm sort of even going, I'm not even worried about the actual eyeballs or anything. It's more the placement of them that I'm trying to get a feel for now. And it's, as I said a dozen times here, I get a much better feel for it in color. That's what I'm doing. Good. I can already feel it coming. I have this original drawing on here, this charcoal drawing, and I thought, well, okay, that's pretty close. But now as I get started on it, I can see that this thing's going to get bigger. As I expand down here in color, this space is going to be bigger than I have it originally drawn on here. That doesn't matter. Now I'm in the go mode. Now it's just going to develop on its own according to the original hat that I put up here. And I know that I have enough room on this canvas to let it grow longer or wider, whatever it needs. I'm not worried about it. I'm not getting hung up with the drawing, the charcoal drawing. Remember, that was just a guide. The other thing is, even though I'm not hung up on it, I don't want to lose that charcoal drawing altogether. So I keep my little pinky over here as the hole sustains my hand, so I don't completely wipe out my drawing with the palm of my hand. Okay. Again, I'm just going back and I'm adding a little bit of light color there. I'm dipping over into my palette. I'm taking some light color, and right on my temples, it's defining this shape here, here, and here, and in here. This is where you really have to pay particular attention, because this is where the three-dimensional qualities of the portrait are sustained. by making sure that these things are accurate. Because this is where my head begins to turn, you know, and depth of field. I want to make sure that's accurate. Okay, I've sort of redefined the headpiece a little bit to my comfort level. I've placed in some skin values in the forehead, a little bit on the hairline, working my way down to the eyes, putting the eyes in place, trying to make sure to myself that they're pretty much close. And then I'm going to work my way down a little bit farther here, so you can see it, and see where we go from there. From that point on, I'm going to go back up and I'm going to redefine the eyes. I'm going to take do a little bit more accurate drawing in the eyes. And for now, I'm going to work my way down the face in here, so I can get some concept of where the nose is going to be exactly, and then I'll go back and work up the eyes. Probably stop there. And you can see that I'm doing this very quickly, and the reason for that is that's how I draw, and then I redefine. I go back. The very rapid drawing in the beginning. I don't get tedious at all until the end. Again, I'm picking out the things that are becoming very important at the moment. You know, what becomes, that's why a lot of times I'll just move all over a canvas, because something catches my eye, I want to get it, because I feel it's important at the moment, and that's sort of what I'm doing now. Sort of putting my ears in place, because it feels like it's something I should do, and defining sort of the exterior of my hair. Looking in the mirror, checking it out, making sure it doesn't look really weird. You know, and you'll see as you begin to utilize the mirror in the background that when you're looking back on it, looking back at your image, if it's real wrong, it's going to show up in the mirror very quickly, and then you just have to stop, hold the horse, and say, okay, what's wrong with this thing? So far, so good on this particular piece. You notice I'm wearing my glasses, but I haven't put my glasses in this picture at all yet. That's way too much detail, and we want to deal with right now. Sort of making sure that I'm getting the eyes in the right spot, because that's going to be, and it always is in my paintings, the most important thing. So we got to make sure we get those right. But sometimes you can't get them necessarily right until you see them in relationship to the other parts of your face. So that's what we're doing. Stop it.